Hey guys, this time at the Quick Speed Shop, check this out. We're putting the plow frame on the truck, and what's this? A completely custom homemade front bumper. It's awesome. It looks fantastic on here. I built out of the junk laying around. I'll show you how I did it. This grill out anyways because of the, got to get the old plow harness out and stuff, and so we might as well just take it out right here since I hit him, help me take the front off. And in the meantime, I'm going to straighten out this mint full of goo 1980 grill, 79 and 80 only stack headlights. Obviously the chrome was all ruined on here, but guess what? Very difficult to find these or bring decent money. This one's banged up, I said, on both sides. Oh my god, it's full of yellow jackets. Ah! At least on that side. Oh, and a bird's nest. Anyways, I'm going to knock the dents out of this guy. So I'm going to put this somewhere where it won't get hurt, like the back of the truck, with all the other junk. Oh. And we'll go from there, but we're going to need to get the thing out. Yeah, there's a bird's nest in here. All this wiring here, this is from the old plow. That's all got to come out. Nasty. Yellow jacket nest. Yellow jacket nest. Oh my god, this thing was full of bees. The tailgate was full of bees. Disgusting. Unfortunately, the core support is all rotted out, but it is what it is. These all rot. Is there yellow jackets behind these headlights? No. I made, let's see, the stacked headlights here, they have a bracket that bolts into the core support, and they changed the core support, I think, in 79 to 79 and 80 to accommodate this. Now on my brown Dodge, you saw me take a 75, no, I'm sorry, I took an 87 Ram Charger, which had a big headlight up here, and I cut it out and I grafted my 80 top section and headlight surround into that. So 79 and 80 I think are separate only. They'll accept either the dual quad headlight mount or a single round headlight mount. So the factory, let's see, I think I plugged the factory, so this is the plow frame harness here. The factory harness I plugged back in. There's an adapter pigtail here. If you're ever curious, there's an adapter pigtail to go to the quad headlights. That plugs into the factory harness, so the factory harness would have had a single headlight plug to plug into the round headlight, but this has got the factory dual headlight, so it's got that adapter. So I had unplugged this, which is the plow harness here for the old plow, so we'll snake that out. That's the headlight. See, it's got the dual headlights. So this is plow harness is specific for dual plug headlights. We'll save that. Save on that. What's all this other? That's probably, what's that going to? Oh, they got it butchered in. Oh, that's going to be turn signal. See it down there? It's butchered into the turn signal wire. I don't like that. And that's been cut off. Yeah, these went to the plow lights. Okay. And there's two grounds, and then where the heck is the horns? Are they under the hood here? Where's the horns? Are the horns missing? I forget where the horns are, but it's almost like this would have been the horn. This is the horn wire, I think, from the factory. Where the heck's the horns at, bro? They're missing. No horns. So okay. It's my headlight harness here. What's this? That was the plow controls. What's this? This is a battery cable. No, it's a ground. It's hooked to the ground here, so I'm going to go ahead and leave him lying there for now. Get these all pulled up through. These guys can all come through here. Ta-da! Right now, we got another blue wire going down, hooking into This other blue wire go, and they're doing the same thing. Okay, that's also hooking into the marker lighter, the turn signal, one of the two. So we'll go ahead and alleviate that guy, leave him there. Let's see. Oh. What's going on here? Okay. Got a whole bunch of spaghetti disaster here. Everything's all wound around everything else. Great. Okay. What in tarnation? Over here we got a plow solenoid here. All that's going to come through, and all this stuff with the black plastic on it is the plow control wires, which go into the firewall under the controls under the dash. Through the firewall, boom. But we'll reuse these holes that they cut. Oops, those are bushing. We'll reuse those holes they drilled to run our new harness. Now I'll be able to save all this plastic loom and fittings and connectors. I'll be able to save on some of that in my electrical supply pile. What we got here? I got mouse nests. We got a fusible link. This is factory. Okay, that's to the factory starter solenoid. I'm going to get new battery cables for this when I do it. Oh, what's this? Some kind of cap for something. Thing I am going to do now is I always put a battery disconnect switch in all my vehicles, and on my brown Dodge I put it right here in the fender well, so I can just walk by on the driver's side and I reach under the fender and I click it off getting out of the truck, and then it's real easy to run the positive battery cable from the starter solenoid to the switch and then to the battery, so your positive is immediately interrupted before it goes to the truck to do anything. So the amount of chance of having a fire is only in the 12 inches between the battery top post positive cable and the switch. Everything else in the truck is dead from there on. So it's a good spot to put it. So I'm going to put it right about here. I got this as a Cole Hersey switch. They're rated for, I don't know, let's see. Oh, 800 amps. Dang, bro. That's a serious duty. Oh, wait a minute. Continuous rating, 175 amps at 36 volts DC. So this is for like a fork truck rated. 36 volts would be like a fork truck rated voltage. But 800 amps for 15 seconds. So dang, that's a lot. But this truck is never going to draw anywhere near 175 amps. It's going to draw probably like running and driving like maybe like 10 amps at the most. So we're way good to go. I just got to drill this diameter hole. You get two nuts here, and you run it on down and just bolt it through the hole. The handle hangs out. Should be waterproof. I run these in none of my cars, all under, you know, out in the weather and stuff. I just changed one of my dad's Buick that was about 30 years old. It had an intermittent contact, so I put a new one in there. But we'll go ahead and we'll pop this guy in right here. Forgot I had these step bits. I don't use them that often because usually I'm drilling thick stuff, but that came in pretty handy. What'd I do with the switch? It's gone. It's gone. Here it is. We're gonna do boom, just like that. Nailed it. I don't have the battery cable, but I have a cable with a smaller eyelet that will go right on there. Yes, it will. Oh, that's a perfect length right there. Look at that. Bam. So we can install that guy right now as well. Electric grease right on our action. Sure. Like that. And I don't know what that cable fits or why I had it, but it's perfect. Perfect length and perfect size freaking connectors on both ends. That's awesome. Oops. Hopefully I don't put the lid back on. So we'll go ahead and make this connection up. I always like to put the big cable on first, just because that would seem like it would make sense. Got a little bit of sandpaper. I'm gonna shine up my starter, or not my starter wire, whatever. Yeah, is this starter wire? Yes, it is. Ooh, it's corroded. Pretty good. Shine her up. There we go. Oops, hold on. Get that white wire underneath there. Let's put a little more goo between our guys. Land that guy there, and then I got this one, which is power for something. Probably, I think this power is a dash and stuff, this wire. I can't remember. I went through all this on my other truck, and I had to trace it all out and redo it all nice. So we'll put that guy there, add a little more goo on top. There, I got plenty of goo. There we go. Put a little goo between. This will help keep it from getting corrosion. If we put a little goo on everything. A little gamma goo. There we go. Put our star washer and our nut back on here. Good to go. Look at that. Bam. Good as new. There we go. Bam, there we go. Did I put goo on this thing? I thought I did. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah. A little down there. Another dab will do you on top for the nut. There we go. Stopping corrosion is the key. Come on, man. Killing me. Oh, mercy sakes. Gone forever. Nope, I found it. We're good. I like that already. We're doing stuff, and once I only need like a, go to the positive, I only need about a 12-inch positive battery cable to get on top. All right, here is the lower half of the snowplow. I bought this, a guy saved everything really nice, and he actually labeled everything with a paint marker, so that's awesome. So we got the left hand lower mount, the center mount, and the right hand lower mount, and then these braces go from here up to the front to the A-frame that holds the pump. And this is similar to my Brown 80 truck, but that has the plow pump on the inside with full hydraulic pump under the hood. This is a more modern style. It's a E-47 Meyer, so the pump obviously is on the outside of the truck, and it's all electronic under the hood. We also have the harness here, which is, oh no, why do I see wire nuts? Why is there wire nuts? Oh no. So what's this? These are the plow lights, and then he's got something boogered together with wire nuts. Great. So we got a solenoid. Oops, this is the dash, the stock for the inside control. Here, that's a stock switch, and I'm not sure why we got a snowplow lights. Oh, because we need to turn the lights on. So we got a headlight switch for the snowplow lights. So we'll be able to figure out the majority of it. I'm sure I can get a E-47 wiring diagram off the internet as well. But before we do anything else, let's get the truck plow package mounted up to the truck. All right, so under here, this guy bolts onto the frame like this, and there's already holes in the frame. where this truck had a different style plow mount on it. So we don't need to drill, we just need to bolt together with the supplied hardware that came from the guy. Oh, my finger almost got me. So let me go over here, we got some hardware. Use new hardware, but we might as well reuse the existing hardware because why not? Let's, where do I want to put the nuts? I'll put the nuts on the inside, I guess. Come back here. It's heavy. Now I've gone ahead and sprayed the outside of the frame with fluid film. That's why it looks shiny, because I don't want it rusting below the bracket, behind the bracket. But we're going to go ahead and take some fluid film in a can, and we're going to hit down here behind the bottom of the frame. And as you can see, this one has been repaired. This broke off. It's real common these break, and somebody's repaired this side by adding a piece of steel and welding it back together. That's fine. My brown truck, same thing, had been used for years to plow, and it had broken and been repaired, and I actually had 2 sets of plow frames because my other truck, my Part 75 truck, came with a plow frame as well, and one side was broken and the other side wasn't on either truck, and I was able to take the best mounts of the both. Oh, wait a minute now. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. I was talking myself out of it for a second. So we'll just go ahead and bolt this on. You can see these ovals go around the factory rivets in the frame, but this guy will bolt on here. We'll leave all the bolts loose as we're assembling it, and then we'll tighten everything all up at once. But that's how that goes. And if you saw a couple videos ago when I did the suspension work, I had to get rid of the front sway bar because it loops right through here, and it would be in the way of this snowplow package, so you can't run the front sway bar with the Meyer style snowplow package. All right, now the lower mount is adjustable height-wise. There's 3 holes here. This truck has a little bit of a suspension lift, but not a whole lot. So I think I'm going to put it up on the higher mount, the higher set of holes, just because the truck doesn't sit that high in the air. Now, the guy that I got this from had on a 1-ton truck, so he had on the lower set of holes. In my lifted 80 truck, I have it on a lower set of holes. But for this one, you can see I don't have the tires on, obviously, so the front end is going to go up a little bit. But you can see how low the plow frame is or the plow mount is to the ground on the lower set of holes. So we're going to pick her up 1 set there. Get just a little bit more ground clearance. Where's my fluid film? We'll fluid film between the brackets here. We'll do that. And then let's see. I can't see the lower set of holes. Get those support brackets that go up to the frame mount. So let's get the upper holes started here. Let's see here. Yep, like that. I start the nut, kind of, maybe a little bit, enough to hold her. These bolts kind of already have oil and anti-seize on them a little bit, so that's why you don't see me coating those. But let's get these guys down finger tight. All right, so you can see this guy has got a lot of play. Once I bolt this guy up, I'm gonna have to drill some more holes. The upper plow mount bolts for the bumper mounts, the original bumper irons would bolt onto here, and it should get a bolt back into this cross member. There's a mount on the body This one you can see, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it's bent in here, so you bolt it through from the back side. But I think I got to drill a couple more holes. It utilizes these upper bolts and some of these side bolts. But then these guys bolt on like this across the side, and they bolt up here to hold this. So actually we can put, looks like these guys had been replaced because they got 9 locks on them, but we'll, oops. Is this the right or the left? That's the left side, my bad. Put them over there. Let's go ahead and get the right one. Oh, it's over here. And then throw a little bit of fluid film on that guy. And he's gonna go right in here. Oh, somehow get in there. Why won't you chew? There we go. All right, now, like I said, these guys will go up here like this, and they support and mount up. That's what's going to triangulate all this like that. I don't know why this bolt is so long. It doesn't really matter, I guess. It looks like somebody replaced it at one point. Now I'm going to spray some fluid film. Does that slip in? Yeah, it slips in here. So I'm going to fluid film the inside of this where it goes. It slips in to like mimic the factory bumper brackets. This guy's a little heavy. It's behind you. Watch out. I'm coming around. All right. This guy is heavy. I had Ted here to help me take it off, and now he's not here, so I'm going to have to do what I can do. Can I pick up on this? Yep. Oh boy, that's heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Get in there. Okay. I should ride for now for a second. Don't fall out. Whew. Oh, you know what? Can I get the grill in behind? Yes. I left the grill out because I want to run the wiring harness with the grill out. Here's our headlight plugs and stuff. I want to run the harness with the grill out. I have room, I believe, to slip the grill in. So these guys will come up here. Why is that so short? Oh, because this has got to come up here like that. Okay. All right. Not looking too bad. I got to get some more hardware for this. The hardware for the truck part was missing. The only other bolts I got are to bolt these guys up to here, which I believe that's what they are. Why are they so freaking big? Oh, that's not what those are for. What are these for? Where would these go? Not down there. I don't know where these 2 bolts go. All right, I tightened all the bolts. The plow is all bolted on tight to the truck. And as you can see, I'm thinking about bumpers, but all the bolts are tight. Bam, all together nice. And I didn't end up drilling any more holes in the frame. It ended up having 4 bolts in the end of the frame to hold it on there, 7/16 bolts, which are all brand new. So that's good enough, so I didn't drill any more. But now you can see I am thinking about a bumper. This truck had a bumper on it when it was on the face space, but the kid took the plow that was off it and torched it off and took it off the truck and took the bumper off. And I was supposed to get the bumper with the truck, and then it didn't work out where I was trying to get it, and he never got back to me, so I lost the front bumper for the truck. But anyways, I was going to run it without a bumper, but then I had this one. And I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll put a bumper on there. Now, as you can see, it's a little too wide, and it's just a piece of heavy wall tubing with some loops welded on the front of it. It was a back bumper off a flatbed, but I think I want to put a bumper on this that's like this, and just in case I ever, you know, it's got a bumper to protect the front end of the truck. So what I'll probably do is I could just weld it right to the plow mount. You know, this is pretty flat, just literally weld it to it. But I don't think I want to do that in case, you know, they ever want to take the plow off and do something else with it. I don't want to have this thing welded to it. So I think I'm going to make some mounts out of angle iron that bolt to the side here and then come and tie into this. I picked this up some. This factory bumper would be right in line here with this, but the factory bumper is also taller, so the mounts are kind of in the middle and it covers the whole area. If I have this down where the mounts go, this looks kind of low. I want to kind of keep it in line with kind of where it would go there. So I think I'll pick it up a little bit and make it just some angle iron mounts that come out with the angle iron, and probably cut a wedge in it and just set it down and tie it in. And we'll suck this gap in, we'll suck this close to here so the bumper's not way out in front. And also you can see it is too long. It's sticking out here, so I'll probably, the original front bumper would have had a little bit of a curve to the end of it. So I'll probably cut this at like a 30-degree angle, but I'll move it in a little bit, maybe take 3 inches off and just here so it's kind of more in line with the truck. But this guy's pretty stiff. It shouldn't want to, it should provide a little bit of protection in case anything ever happens. You don't just wad into the sheet metal of the truck. So I think we're going to do that. Hang this guy off here, and then I'm going to weld a piece of angle iron to the back of this to mount the license plate up to it here, kind of off center, kind of a neat look, instead of, you know, in the center, kind of mounted off here. Leave the turn signal visible, but put the plate off here. That'll be kind of cool. Then repaint this, obviously, but I think it definitely needs some kind of bumper. And we are going to build a rear bumper. I have 2x6 rectangular tubing. I'm going to build like a sports style bumper. You could have got these trucks with either a step bumper or no bumper, or like the Ram Charger style like sport bumper on the back, which I would like to have, but they're very hard to find, not destroyed, and they're expensive used, several $100s. So I'm going to make a 2x6 rectangular bumper that's going to fill the gap between the receiver hitch and the box and be kind of shaped. Well, you'll see it. We'll do a whole separate video on building the bumper. But so I'm going to go kind of with a rectangular steel bumper theme on the truck. So we might as well put this guy in the front. All right, it's the next day here. I fabbed up some super simple mounts. I got this 3/16 or 1/4 inch, whatever it is, angle iron bolted to the stock bumper location. And right now the bumper's kind of just floating here. I went and I learned my lesson. If you saw my brown Dodge getting stuck with the Diplomat video, I didn't have any way to put my winch on the front of the truck because I didn't have a front receiver. If I did, I could have probably winched it from the front and pulled it out of the wet grass. So this truck, we're going to rectify that, and I'm going to build something like this for the brown truck in the springtime. But I'm adding a receiver hitch to the front of this, and I had a piece of 2.5 inch tube, so I made my own receiver. I've drilled it for the hole back here, and it sits on top of the plow mount. You can see it here. It's bolted to the plow mount, but it's going to be welded to the bumper so it can be removable. I didn't do any, I could have tied it into the truck more permanently, but I want to be able to remove the bumper and then remove the plow mount if I have to. So it's going to weld to the bumper and then bolt on. So that'll be plenty. This tube's a little bit too big for like an actual, if you use it for an actual receiver, it's a little sloppy on the engagement and the action, but it'll be perfect for like a winch mount or around the yard. You could put a ball in here and move a trailer around or something like that. So anyways, I'm adding that. I'm about ready to weld the bumper, tack it to the mounts, and get it tied in. I really don't like the look of just like sticking a piece of rectangular tubing out here like straight. You know, the front bumpers had a little bit of shape to them. They kind of followed the body, obviously. And so this looks kind of hokey. So I think I'm going to take it and I'm going to pie cut it back here and take a pie cut and bend this in to parallel the body here, which is going to look better. But then we're going to go one step further. I think I'm going to blank it in with some 16 gauge sheet metal to like fill this gap up. I might take this 1-inch round or square stock I got here, flat stock, and I might bend it around and make like a detail line for the bumper, and then come over here and then fill in the gap with sheet metal so you won't see this big hole back here. I think that would kind of look a little bit better. The other problem I have is, I don't know if you can see it up and through there, maybe. I don't know. The core support is all rotted out, and the front of the truck is crooked because the mounts are shot and caved in. They are here, well, it's hard to see, but they mount here on the radiator, and it's all rotted out. So if we get back and look, it looks like the bumper is crooked to the truck, but it's actually a truck that's crooked to the bumper. See how it's like lower on that side than on that side? The bumper is straight to the plow mount, which is straight to the frame, so the front of the truck is down. Luckily, they've got the old style body mounts out here on the edge that they used to use, and this one's touching the core support, but the other one's got like at least a 1/2 inch gap. So I think I can jack up the core support here, a block of wood, and jam something under here and kind of like hold the body up and straighten the body out a little bit and just let it kind of ride. Or, I mean, it doesn't really matter is what it is. It's going to be what it is. But anyways, I'm going to make the bumper straight to the truck frame and to the plow frame, and then the body's going to have to do what it does because it's rusty junk. Can't fix everything. I would need a new core support, and you know, I'm not doing that. The truck doesn't need a new core support in it, so it's going to be is what it is. But I think it's looking pretty good. I'm probably going to put you on fast motion here for a little bit while I do some fabbing. That was fun trying to get that bumper off there then back on, but I guess I should have built a little bit of slack into them bumper yards because that's a tight fit. Anyways, it's on there again. And saw me pie cut the slits out of here, and you can see how the tubing is bent out just from the stress of it. So now we're going to go and try to bend these in. Oh yeah, look at that, boom. And I think it's just gonna go to like kind of what it is. I cut about a 1/4 inch slot. Oh, I wish I'd pie cut. I have to fill it up with a welder, dang it. That's fine, this isn't structural steel. So I think we'll bring this around close to touching try to make it symmetrical on each other, but you get a look at what I'm doing. That looks pretty nice. And then we'll go ahead and pull that in. Sucking it in like that makes it so I think I don't need to shorten the bumper, because now it's shorter just because the way that it is now. I kind of like that. If I could find some way to hold it and tack it, get some kind of accurate dimension right there, boom. Just make one side match the other, and then I'll just fill that back in a weld. And then, like I said, we're going to box this in with sheet metal just to fill the gap up a little bit. And that'll give the appearance of the bumper not being so low or nothing like that. But I like it. It looks good. So I think all I got to do is, let me check a couple dimensions. And then we'll just give her a tack. We got here 2 inches on the money. 2 inches on the money. So that's straight with the thing. And if I push this in all the way, with my knee sort of, let's see. Hoop. What do I get? Like straight on from the bolt. Well, use the other knee. Hoop. Hoop. We can get it into 5 inches from the front face. How about this one? How far will you bend in? Hoop. Ooh, this one's got a little less stress on it. Hoop. Like a tiger, tight like a tiger. I can get it to about 5.5. So whatever one's the longer dimension, I'm going to do that one. Why is this? Yeah. What's the best way to do this? Could I do it with a ratchet strap to the front axle? I don't know. That's a lot of force. I might be able to. I would kind of like to do that. Oh, here is a ratchet strap. Let's try to ratchet strap this guy into position. How's the best way to do this? Probably loop it around on itself. I can ratchet to the front axle. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Just a little ratchet strap action. Don't put your face in front of it. There we go. 5 inches on the button. I like that. That looks good. Curved around, sure. Let's go ahead and put a tack in it just because we like it. Tack it. Got him. Like that. Oh, 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 oh. Ow. There we go. 5 inches. Ow. It's a chance of taking this off without dying. Got it. Nice. There we go. That wasn't bad at all. That looks about right there. Hold on, let's see. Oop, another 1/2 inch. Two clicks. There we go. That's about 5 1/4. What we got? When do we end up over here? Straight off the bolt. 5 1/4. There we go. That looks good. Man, that looks pretty good. Just wish the truck nose was straight. Oop. Yep. There we go. You don't know how worried I am. Every time I come up, I don't want to hit my head or my neck on that thing and have a reoccurrence. We'll be back. We're almost healed from the stroke. It's been almost 3 months. Let's not have a reoccurrence. Working on our junk plow truck. Look at that. There we go. Man, that's awesome. I love it. That looks great. So now she sucked right in there. Got a little bit of an angle, the dangle. I screwed up. I should have cut it over here and made it fit the front of the truck just a little bit better, but whatever. I couldn't see where these were, and I didn't want to cut too close. I should have known I could have cut it, could have put a pie cut right there, but whatever, it's close enough. We're not building show trucks, we're just building junk for fun in the garage, and man, it is tight. I think I might trim where this goes back into here to the frame. There's not really any reason. It doesn't bolt to the frame, and that's kind of a pain to get it in there, so I think I'm going to lop a couple inches off the back of that. Next time we put it on, just let the, you know, this is not going to haul. It's not like it's hauling the trailer, it's just for a pull point, which is going to, all the stress is going to be going through here, which is bolted and welded on here. So if it's not attached to the cross member of the frame, there's not any reason to run it back there. I thought it would help stiffen it, but it just makes it a pain to deal with. Well, prepare to be amazed. I skipped ahead a little bit because I spent a couple hours watching YouTube, listening in the background. Morski's on there right now. And now, be prepared to be amazed, like I said. Bam! I got completely carried away with the bumper. Let's check it out. I made my filler panels, 16 gauge sheet metal. I bent up this flat stock I had laying on the floor forever. It's 1-inch flat stock, and this piece here is going to go in here and finish it off once I take it back off to weld underneath and stuff. But look at this mint. Now you can see the truck, like I said, is lower on the driver's side, so the truck is going downhill because of the core support being rotted. But how awesome is this? Somehow I got my measurements off, and I got to add a little filler piece right here. That's okay. This is not a show vehicle. It's just whipping up junk in the for fun, but man, that looks pretty sweet. Fills it right in, and I'm going to put the license plate on the driver's side, but I think it looks awesome. I don't know how it could be any cooler. Custom fabric. I almost want to build one for my brown truck to like match it, because this is pretty neat. I love how it fills in around the plow frame, and my brown truck's got a fabricated rear bumper, and I painted it with the hammer tone silver here. I should make another one for my brown truck in the springtime. Kind of like, I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, that's what I did the last couple hours. It's getting pretty late. I got to go to work tomorrow. It's Sunday night. But you can see it is what it is. I'm just going to grind all this down and paint it. I might even paint this one hammer tone silver. I'm not sure yet. You saw I had a heck of a time getting the bumper on and off. It's like super, super tight. I think I got to knock it off one more time because, like I said, I'm going to trim off the trailer tube in the back. It's hitting the frame at a weird angle, and I don't think I need it to go back in there if it's not tied in. So I'm going to lop that off, which I could actually do in place of the Sawzall if I wanted to, but it's pretty thick. But I do want to flip this upside down and weld all the around the bottom and clean it up and throw some primer on it, or Eastwood Rust Encapsulator or something on the back of the bumper at least. But I love how this is coming out. I don't think we're going to have time to do the wiring harness in this video because I've burned up all the time mounting the plow frame and making a bumper, but we'll see how we get there. But a bunch of neat details. I can't believe that I came up with it. I was going to run this thing without a bumper, and I'm like, let's put that guy on there, and it's, look dumb straight, bend it, and I'm like, better fill it in. Amazing. It looks amazing. Now, the only reason I didn't run this all the way out to the edge is my sheet metal is only 19 inches long, and I couldn't do that. But I kind of like how it matches the line in the fender, and then it kind of looks like it's supposed to do that. So it is supposed to do that because that's how I made it. So I'm going to beat and bang this thing off here one more time. And then I made a bracket that's going to weld onto the frame. And I'm hanging plates on this to keep the driveway police away. But we're going to hang a plate. It's going to mount right about here so you can still see the turn signal. And just kind of float. I got a piece of 3-inch flat stock I'm going to weld to this. And the plate's just going to float there, kind of in front of the grill. That's going to be pretty neat detail as well. All right, guys, it's the next day. I ran out of time last night. I was working late. I had to go to work. But I was working late Sunday night. I painted the bumper with, I found I had most of a can of Krylon Fusion all-in-one, bam, hammer tone paint. And I threw it on really fast, really heavy, because I guess the secret to hammer tone is the heavier you put it on, the more it hammer tones. And so I put it on pretty fast. You can see it blew all over the floor. It's real hammer tony, and then it's not so hammer tony. Then it's got some runs, and then it's thin. But oh well. You know, guess what? Plow truck. So I was going to paint the bumper black, and I'm like, you know what? This truck's black and black and black and black and black. Let's do the bumpers in silver hammer tone. I'm going to build a rear bumper out of 6-inch channel to mimic the stock stylized rear bumper that like the Ram Chargers had and the fancier trucks had. So we're gonna have hammer tone bumpers front and rear. But this didn't come out too bad. It's just a driveway plow truck. Who cares? I did, when I was cleaning it up with the grinder, I did paint the whole thing with rust encapsulator from Eastwood to try to keep it from rusting a little bit, because it had some rust on it. Put it all on the bare metal, and then I took the grinder and I ground down the sides of the plow frame with a flap wheel just a little bit, and the inside of the mounts. Try to get you see me fighting, trying to get the stupid thing on and off. So maybe I put a couple of thousandths clearance in it, but then I threw some paint on it, so maybe that went away. I don't know. Let's try to put it back on the truck. Maybe without, oh, and I cut the receiver off like I said I was going to do. So let's, is it dry yet? Yeah, it's dry. I put the paint on really heavy. Okay, let's see if it'll just like slip into place maybe. Let's see, it's got to go there. Oh, it's already, shoot. I learned from next time. Oh, yes, that did help. I'm a genius. But I learned for next time, if you're building something like this and then you're welding really heavy with welding mounts on it and stuff, I guess put, I don't know, piece of cardstock or something between the mounts and the frame, make some kind of shim, because it must, when you weld it, it must a little bit, and like you saw, it was so tight. But grinding her down a little bit made a difference. And I don't think it looks too bad. We'll see. Ow, ouch, I just kneeled on something sharp, a piece of glass. Why is there a piece of broken glass here? Where'd that come from? I don't know. So, will it roll? Will it go? Oh yeah. I put a little fluid film on it too, where it goes. So I'm gonna have to spray some oil in these because they're gonna rust, but I don't know, that looks kind of different. Oh, the hammer tone is not hammer tony there. I don't know. It went on pretty good on top. It adds a little bit of color to the front of the truck. That's all we're looking for, a little bit of color to the front of the truck. So let me go ahead and bolt this back on. Now that I realize I can put it on like this, I'm going to, I think, weld a mount, or maybe I'll bolt it still. I'll probably bolt the mount for the license plate here. I'll get the license plate hung back on it. But let me put the bolts back in, hopefully for the last time. Well, I tell you what, I don't know how it gets any better than that. I just welded a piece of flat stock to the plow frame here, mounted my plate up on there. I set the grill back on the truck just to get an eyeball at it. I still got to pop it back off and run the wiring harness. I panicked a little bit. I went to try to put the grill in, and you really got to fight it between the headlights and the core support. It'd be good if the headlight came off, but I bet if you tried to take this bolt off, you would break it in here and then wreck both your factory Meyer truck light, made for especially Meyer plow lights. So I'll fight the grill back in and out, but the plug pigtails will just kind of poke through where they're going to poke through. Maybe like something like that. Just get them, you know, I'll try to make it so it's not horrendous. Get them up in there, out of the way, however they go. But it's kind of nice that this is the 80 with the blacked out grill, so the, you know, kind of matches everything. But man, this bumper, I like getting sidetracked on side quests. Like this bumper came out mint. I'm going to jack the core support up and probably just jam a piece of 3/4 inch plywood or something on top of the mount just for the thing to ride on so it doesn't sit so crooked. It kind of takes your eyeball away now. Having the plate hides the fact that the gaps are different, so you eliminate that factor. But I think the silver hammer tone was the right way to go. It kind of like makes it look industrial instead of just black on black on black. It kind of ties in with the shiny part of the grill. It looks pretty neat. I love the detail of the trim line going around the plow frame, kind of like it's meant to be there. Like, kind of like, hey, is this what did it come with this? I don't know. But the front of this truck is really snazzed up. Like I said, I'm going to be making a rear bumper. I got a piece of 2x6 rectangular tubing, and I'm going to cut a license plate bracket into it, and it's going to look kind of like a sport bumper, and we'll make that mount up on the back because on the rear I have a receiver hitch mounted on it, so I don't need to have a hitch on the bumper. I'll have the receiver, and we got the receiver in the front in case we ever get stuck. We can jam the winch in there and run the battery cables up to the battery and winch yourself out with a winch. That'll be pretty awesome. I need to do the same thing on my brown Dodge. Obviously, I've got the factory bumper on that truck, so I'll have to build the receiver tube into the plow frame and somehow make it mount to that so I can jam the winch in the front of that truck. Because if you watched the video from last week, I found out, or whatever it was, a couple Wednesdays ago, I found out when you're stuck with your truck and trailer and Diplomat, and the only winch point is on the back, it don't work out too good. You need a winch point on the front. So I'll be rectifying that, but man, this old black 80 Dodge W150, I love it. You want to have some fun, like I said, I think in an earlier video, go buy yourself a junk truck. Now, am I going to drive this truck on the road? No, I don't have a title for it, but I needed a little short box plow truck to go with my other plow truck because you can't have just one plow truck when you got a 100-foot long driveway. You got to have 2 or 3 or 4 plow trucks, just for the plow truck's sake. But man, we took this thing right from the junkyard, headed where that's where it was headed, broke in half pretty much, all, you know, fixed it up, having fun like this. This didn't cost me nothing in steel. I had this bumper chunk laying around, somebody had made it and it was not any good, been laying out in the weeds forever. Freaking added a little bits and pieces, a couple of brackets welded to it. Now it's a freaking factory style custom front bumper for this thing. Put my $350, I think it was, plow that I bought from a guy in Face Space Marketplace. Put that on here. I'll be able to plow with this. I got some eBay or Amazon transmission lines I'm about ready to hook up. And we got an Amazon carburetor I threw on last time. We're going to get this thing running here with a brand new aluminum Chinesium radiator. And it should be about ready to rip. We got all new brakes on the truck. I'll wire up the plow, get that working. We'll try it out with the plow. Fortunately, winter's over. Unfortunately for plowing. But we got the sucker. It looks mint, man. I love it. So I'm going to leave you hanging on the wiring harness. I'm going to have to do some figuring out because that's a mess. But at least we got the important cool stuff done. And I'll start running that through the cab. I'll show you next time here. I'm going to jack it up, put the front wheels back on. And I think we're in the home stretch. We're going to the back of the truck soon. Or maybe I think next time we'll get it running. And I think I want to turn it around because if you can see in the background, maybe there's a little bit of back window protector action going on. Another source piece that I stashed for years and years. Don't trash it, you can stash it. I've had it about 10 years now and finally got a truck to use it on. And like I said, a rear bumper, we'll do some other tricks. Got a bunch of junk to bolt on this thing. Got to add some mirrors to it. But we're in the home stretch in a black 80 Dodge. It's going to look sweet out in the driveway. And we'll pull something else in here and start working on it. Will we stay in Dodges? I don't know. Will we roll the Diplomat in here? I got some brakes on order. I'd like to get the brakes going on that Diplomat and hook up a fuel system to that car so we can get that thing running with new front brakes because I took the pads out of it because the wheels are locked up. Put new hoses and calipers and stuff on it. Should be able to yard drive that car. And then eventually we're going to work on that later here when it gets a little bit warmer out. That'll probably be like a halfway driveway project. But we got a lot of things going on. I love this black truck. This thing is awesome. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Making old junk trucks great again at the Quick Speed Shop. Go get yourself one. They're fun. They're cheap. They're on Face Space all the time. Go buy some junk and put it together. It's fun.